Hello and welcome to Nathan's Garage. We are on Flora bug today, and we do have a new addition coming to the garage, and Gulu were really helpful in giving me this GT6000 battery charger to help with the extraction of what's going to be coming. So I'll put a link. I've not been able to use it yet, and they gave it to me about 3 weeks ago. So I'd like to give them some exposure, so if you guys need a battery charger, click the link down below. Another thing as well, to keep the channel moving forward, I'm going to have to be selling projects just to keep money coming in. So Flora will be for sale when she's done, I think, unless I really fall in love with her. But right now she's going to be for sale, and I have put my contact information just at the top of the description on a Gmail, so you guys can get in touch and we can discuss and see where we think she's going to end up. And with that being said, let's carry on. Things are going really well, really well with this car. So let's get on.
I consider myself to have a stroke of genius. The bar is not high, but this, I think, is definitely genius. My back was killing me, sat on that, bent over, trying to get the old floor pan edges off. So this, there you go. Yeah, I've got to admit, I'm finding the die grinder is very useful in this job. A lot of people talk about the belt sander, which I don't know, I'm not sold on. Doing it normal drill bits and blah blah blah. But yeah, so we shall keep doing slowly but patiently to try and not drill too far through. There we go, one side done. So mating surfaces seems to be pretty good. We clean that corner up. We will be cleaning that corner up as well, but everything else nice. Really nice. Lovely job. So, good day. Frame head confirmed good. Napoleon's hat good. And halfway to floor pans. Still on the messy jobs today, so got all the edging done. All the old floor pan is off. Now we're going to an even messier job. From that to this. There is no way this car would have survived without this thick layer of wax on the bottom of it. No way. So, but I don't want it on now, obviously, so I need to scrape it off. I've used this, and I may use it at the end to clean it up more, but right now that thing just seems to be the easiest. Okay, I think this is about as wire wheeled as she's gonna get. So everything's off this side. Lip's good, just. Still got the measurements. The lip is actually better than that 2-inch space there, but it's not that deep, and I wiped on the whatever that rust stuff is, and it reacted, and it's still good, so that's good. And then we wire wheeled all of this stuff. I'm going to brake clean it and then attack that with the same rust stuff as well. Next up, oh, we did the underneath as well. Oh my word, I am stiff. So there's none of the wax left, or at least there's none where I can get a wire wheel in. There is stuff in the crevices and stuff like that, which, if I had a sandblaster or dry ice, can you imagine what this would look like if we could clean it with dry ice? Amazing. Anyway, job now is cut this open and see what's going on inside. Okay, I think that's the clutch. Is that the clutch tube? Oh yeah, it will be. That's the gas, right? Sorry. I'm getting confused. But yeah, it looks like the clutch pedal doohickey had a bit of a moment, and it looks like it's still having a moment. Okay, so chop that out. We'll just put a new bracket across. I wonder if the person who owned this car wondered why they had a sticky heater control. Yeah, decided to cut through the tube there when he went across. Hilarious. Open heart surgery is complete. There we go. Clutch tube is well and truly affixed. We can now close her up, Doc. Okay, I used some 14 gauge out of stock, and then we'll have to, once we tacked it in, we'll have to manipulate this top to go with the bends that have been created. So right here, I don't have a gap anymore, so we've got a bit of an overlap. So we're just going to cut it. We are really, really close for position. The reason why I've slit that is because these are a touch on the lip, and that hole is a 1/16 of an inch in. So I want, and this won't sit down over that bit. So I want the outside to sit down to pull it out, and then this is going to open this up, and I'll just fill that in. Very happy with today's progress. So we've sliced in the corner and on the top, and then we've sliced that one there because this was too tall. So we'll be able to clamp that down. So tomorrow, oh, and that made this one inch perfect, absolutely perfect. Position is within a 1/16, and all the measurements are on. Even with that like that, so I could possibly clearance that to go in, because that hole is in the right place. So, meaning that's going to get probably clearanced. Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, still waiting for a reply to see if we can get some support on this build. But I'm thinking a water pipe is going to run down like normal, like this underneath here, and then kick in, and then flatten this like that, so it goes behind the jacking point. Basically flatten it right there, and then you can just run a water pipe right there, and then do the same on the other side in that far corner. Then I've not got to worry about, you know, it hanging too low and going underneath this or getting rid of this, and then I'm going to throw a load of extra strength on that. So I know some people say do jack it up here, and some people say don't, but we'll put some extra steel in there so you will be able to. Nice. Nice. And it's clean, and I'm so unbelievably dirty. You can see, yep, you can see it. But the floor pan is appropriately clean and rust treated. You can see on this side, so the back end is all just doused, and then this we've gone a lot lighter, and you can just see the black areas where it's reacting, and the only bit that is where a weld may need to go is there, and by the time it's done reacting tomorrow, I'll probably get the finger sander on that and take that back a bit more so we're fully steel. Yeah, this is great. Love it. Right, we've done all our holes. And they just about sit on the lip, which is nice. We've got bricks, because obviously it's wavy. This is the sliced bit that we'll fill in. And what else? A good tip that I think makes sense to me was basically tack it in and then start your spot welds from the center out. Then if you've got kind of any movement, it's easier to absorb it into a corner than it is if you're going from a corner to the center and you've got a ripple. That would be a pain. So I'm going to do that. So yeah, so positions of holes, bob on. That measurement is exactly right, or that one exactly right. And that one are a 16th either way. 16th of an inch. So I think we're happy with that. Okay, game on. In this area there were tons of cuts, so I'm just closing them up. I did 2 plug weld holes here, but it's not far on enough, so they don't get used. So I'm just doing beads or spot beads where it had them before. I'm not really adding anything else. And the very last bit. It's got a bit of a seam in the corner. Okay, so this is all of the slit area together to sit down. So me slitting this has kind of made this slope down a little bit. So we'll have to see when it goes on. It may be getting some extra schmutz to make a seal in this corner. It's that. Yeah, everything's pretty much as it should be. Just did welds, you know, where the factory had extra welds on the ends and stuff. So one in, one to go. Okay, pans are in. I've got these little weird extension things that were on the back of the jacking points that I cut off to get on here. So I'm going to flip it over now and see if I can get those back on. But yeah, everything was within a 16th of an inch. Happy. May have to open these holes up on both sides depending on, you know, position and stuff. But yeah, so it's just taking the heads off the welds. Seam sealer is on its way. Yeah, look at that. All new metal. Okay, my lightweight little movable Beetle floor has gone. Damn, these two things put some weight on. But that's all good because we're getting more complete. So these are the bits that were on the back of the floor pan. So basically, you know, they extend down and weld into here. those bits there and extend off the back. Well, this kind of isn't playing like that. So what I've done is I've modified it, so I'm going to weld it along that ridge, weld that back point along there, seam it along there, and probably go along the back of the floor as well. And I assume this is a jacking point or strengthening to the jacking point. Who knows? But it's getting done. Okay, I may have got a little carried away. So got that back piece on, got it attached, and then the actual, whatever this jacking point is itself, it just seemed like it wasn't really attached with much. So I attached it with more. So anyway, that's that side. So we'll go and do the other side. The I'll just disorder definitely kicked in on this one. Ended up running a couple of beads along the bottom. The two pieces of metal on this were completely different heights, so I shaved them down and welded them together. And then on this side, because we're still figuring it out, obviously this back edge is completely different to this back edge, and that's in a different place as well, actually stamped onto the floor pan in a different place, but that's that. Yay, so everything is in, and I know the jacking point gains its strength from the car being bolted to it and triangulation and all that kind of stuff, but what a difference having it welded like this. I mean, before I did this, grab that and it would flex. Now, nothing. I hope I haven't moved the floor pan so it doesn't attach to the car anymore, but you know, strong. Let's hope it's still in the same place. Idea. Now, I would love to run the coolant pipes through the center spine. I think it will be so clean and it will be amazing. Or the heater channels. But you're not getting any kind of like, probably, is it called thermal efficiency? You know what I mean? Like if you've got two exposed coolant pipes running down either side of the car, you're getting such a cooling effect because of the volume and the time it's outside before and after it gets to the radiator here. Now, I don't want to chop these out because I just like the fact that it's all factory. And running a water pipe down here, that gets a problem there. So what I'm thinking is, why don't we just create a channel there? And then that kind of gives it a decent direction to go up and into the engine bay. And we can do it on both sides for the supply and return. That is the idea, basically. And that's also what happens when you rush the cuts and don't go straight. A little too much freehand, but we'll be fine until these two parts here, and then we'll have to see what we're going to do, whether we're going to fill it, bend it, who knows. But that's the idea of like running the water pipe down there and then going in there behind. Yes, we're going to be in the battery area, but I'm not bothered about that. And we keep all this strength, and we had a bit of strength here with some bends. Come on. Okay, we're down to hit it with a hammer time. And there you go. The grinder definitely helped me look like a half decent welder on this one. Definitely got messy around the edges, especially this area where it's too wide. I ended up just beating it wider, so it kind of widened it a little bit, V'd it a little bit. But yeah, so water pipe down here, and then cut in and up to the engine. Right, thinking that's looking pretty damn good. I guess onto the other side. Definitely a better fit second time round. Now, of course, because I cut the first piece too short, which was that one, I think, I then didn't have enough metal to make it in one piece, so I'm gonna have to put a little patch in that end. But the trimming and the channel it's going into is a lot better. This just needs hitting out. Basically, when it went in the vise, it pinched it a little bit. So yeah, this will go in a lot easier. That one went in way nicer. Very happy. Welding's nicer on it as well. Lovely. Let's give it a coat of paint. Okay, we are paint prepped with the Paint Prep of Champions brake cleaner. Never has this floor been so clean. So I'm going to use this rust converter one basically for the back end. And then up front, I'm just going to use normal etch. Can't believe we're already running out. Hey, Annie. That is no. Yes, I know. You know, I know that's not the perfect technique, but it's kind of even. It gets the last bit of paint out. Okay, so this is my basic idea. That is there, could do what it wants for a minute. We're fairly cleared out. As far as I can tell, I need 13 feet from there to the back. This should just fit. I think it's gonna be extremely busy in there, but I've got rain for like 6 or 7 days now. And this needs to be at least have a heater channel in it, or heater channels in it, whatever it needs, and then all the fab at the back. So, it should be fun.